Yeah. Feels like I've already done 199 of these.
Yeah, it does. 200, baby.
Today?
200. This is it. The
No, that
200th episode, Clint.
that's one of my favorite, back when I was on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, with the fake Fobo Pelini.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
somebody'd be like, he just threw his 100th touchdown pass, and he'd go, "Oh my God, what's the score?"
That's right. Well, folks, welcome. Well, we'll do the little more welcome later, but it's time for the Hog Slop podcast. And this is our
You know,
200th episode.
200 episodes. I mean, there's been a lot. We have been through a lot, Travis.
A lot. Things have changed. And
Yeah,
our names changed.
right. Went from the Big C, Bigger T podcast, not knowing what we're going to talk about.
That's right. Not
Just
knowing what direction.
not knowing what direction, what part of it's going to be, personal stories, what's going to be talking current sports, what we're going to talk politics, what we're going to talk. And by the way, me and Travis disagree on politics, so we don't talk about it. So it works out. But we love talking sports. We love talking Razorback sports more than anything else. And you know what? If you like hearing us talk Razorback sports, take a second. And Travis, tell them what to do.
Hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button.
Like it.
Share it. Sharing is
Share it.
caring. We
Sharing is
need caring people.
Yeah.
And comment and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on
Do all
YouTube,
that. Do all that, girl.
Apple
Come on.
Podcasts, on Spotify, all that kind of stuff. And you know what? One thing that's been consistent, Clint, the whole time is everybody gets to listen to a little bit of my buddy Sean Michelle to get us started.
There you go.
So how about you, Sean Michelle? Get us rolling, buddy.
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you a change is made. Ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you a change is made.
What's up, everybody? It is time. It is time for the 200th time for the Hawg Slop podcast, baby. I'm your boy, Bigger T, joined as always by my man, Big C, Clint Clark. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I tell you what, this is number 200. It is hard to believe that we have done 200 of these things. You've done 200 of them. I think I'm at 198, but that's neither here nor there. But this is the 200th episode of what originally was the Big C, Bigger T podcast. Now it's Hawg Slop, the Hawg Slop podcast with Big C and Bigger T. And, I did some Googling, and I don't count this as my Google because I usually give myself one Google a show. And here's some TV shows that did not make 200, Travis.
Okay, yeah.
Just to name a few. A Ghost Whisperer.
Oh, yeah.
Did that have like Jennifer Love Hewitt in it or something like that?
No idea. I never watched it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Big fan of Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's gorgeous. And has a restraining order against me.
Easy on the eyes.
Easy on the eyes. Numb threeers. You remember that one's like numbers, but it'd have a 3 backwards 3 instead of me.
Yeah.
So I always call it a numb threeers. One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
Chad.
Never watched that either.
Chad Austin Murray or something like that.
It was a popular show. Yeah.
Yeah. Charmed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Never watched that either.
Yeah, we beat out Charmed. And then they got some other ones on here. But yeah.
I heard something that the average podcast lasts like 8 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we all remember. I mean, how many episodes are you into donkey theology?
Yeah, like 3, 4. Yeah,
or pajama wrestling with pajama wrestling. But I'll talk about those. But we've made like if you put all the other side projects we're involved in together and average them with this one, we're averaging about 8.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and it's funny. Clint, this all started. Just those of y'all that don't know the history of it. Clint and I is around the time of COVID. we were talking on the phone like we did on a regular basis, and we were just talking about things that we'd like to try. One of the things we talked about was doing stand-up comedy. Since we started the show, we did try that, by the way.
We did try, and I think you did better than I did.
Well, it was fun. We both got a chance
Yeah.
to do that, and it was a lot of fun. And but then we thought, it'd be neat to do a podcast. Both of us were influenced by morning radio growing up, and we loved doing that. Tommy Smith was a big, hero of ours as far as morning radio stuff, and we were thinking, man, we could do something, talk about sports, we could talk about other things. And so we started really kind of as a comedy, sort of just us being silly, fun, just fun conversation podcast. But we kind of kept going into the whole Razorback talk. Like we just kept kind of drifting that direction. Now we've done other things. We've interviewed wrestlers. We've interviewed coaches, of course, we've done sports but coaches that wasn't connected to the Razorbacks. We interviewed your old football coach a couple times.
Right. Interviewed martial artists.
Martial artists, that's right. One of my favorite episodes was Gary Crowder, the coach, the girls coach from OBU that came up with the whole Village Academy prank in the 80s, and that I love that story. I mean, it's just a cool story. But man, and then we just got to going where we, because of some friends of ours, Mike Floyd and Robert Branscombe, we got to start interviewing some Razorback athletes. And man, we got to interview some pretty cool folks doing that, Of course, it all started, one of our biggest interviews was Oliver Miller, which was just thanks to a lazy night on Twitter. We're able to get him.
I will never forget the excitement in your voice when you called me at work that day,
dude.
Like you're not gonna you were giddy. He gets up to go to the bathroom, and we'd really never tested your editing skills before. I'm like, man, you want to pause it or something? Like, I don't care, man. It's Oliver Miller. Yeah, I mean, that was your guy. That's who you, like you said.
Yeah.
We grew up playing basketball him in the yard. I mean,
if for some reason that night you would have said, man, I just can't do it tonight, I would have drove to Greenbrier and beat you upside the head.
Right, yeah.
Because we were going to do it that night. Of course, that wasn't going to happen because you were like, yeah, no. Dude, whenever.
And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk the biggest regret of this. Every now and then you try your hardest and you try to just make something work. And you probably should say, you know what, we just can't make it work right now.
Yeah.
I was on my pilgrimage to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I was driving through What the Crap, Utah.
Yeah.
And cell reception was spotty at best. And we were going to you'd been trying to get Basil on the podcast.
David Basil. Yeah.
For so long. No, Basil's an extremely busy man.
Yeah.
So in our defense, we didn't have a lot to work with, but he didn't have a lot to work with either. Yeah. It's just one of them, just a series of crap events led to a craptastic end. We're going to have, you probably can tell the story better than I can, but we're going to have Basil on the show.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, I have 45 minutes. And it's from like one fundraiser to like an event he was going to. He was going to be home for like 45 minutes. He's like, that's all I got. We were doing our episode where we go through the Razorback football schedule and predict. And he's like, okay, he had just done that for another event they'd had in Little Rock, I guess, for, where they bring in the Razorbacks or whatever. And so he was already prepared for it. And so we got on, and Clint's in his car on his phone because he's driving through Utah. But we were just going to make it work. And it just had a bunch of fumbles in there, man. It was just a crazy episode, and Clint wasn't getting a good signal, and we ended up, me and Basil finished it up. If you want to go back and check it out, I forget what number it is, but it was the one we regret. In fact, we tried to get Basil on for this one. If you follow Basil on any social medias or whatever, or you listen to the show in the morning, you need to text him, you need to message him and say, you need to give the boys a chance at redemption. So he just, I tried to get him on here for this episode actually because we wanted this to
Yeah.
be redemption, but wasn't able to get that happen. So anyway, but you know, Clint, you know, it's been a fun ride, dude, and I'm excited for more.
No, it really hasn't. It doesn't feel like it's got to be a chore
No.
at all by any. And the more that we get to talk to the student athletes that are coming to the University of Arkansas, I was going to ask you your favorite student athlete interview. You know, and we used to have Cam Kozel. It was a great interview.
Yeah.
I love every single one of them. I got to tell you, it's got to be between my boy Pat Kudus, who I hate that he's an Ole Miss Rebel now. I loved having Kudus on, and then Junior. I love Carmona.
Yeah, Carmona was one of the big ones. I'll tell you, Michael Turner, that first, you know, he was the first Razorback athlete we had. That was a fun one, man. That was an enjoyable episode.
And I think, and one of the things we were talking about for everybody else talked about it, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. And I'm going to toot my own horn here because I think I'm the one that asked the question. If I wasn't, then just let me keep believing it, Travis. My ego needs stroked. But we started talking about him calling the pitches.
Yeah.
And like they had really never reported on it. He goes, no, I called the game.
Yeah.
He says, I call the game. And so,
well, and it was cool. You know, him and, you know, man, Landon Jackson was a fun one. Cam Ball, we had him on twice so far. I mean,
right, yeah.
We may get him on again, folks. He's great. I'm with you with Junior Cremona. Great. We need to try to get him on again pretty soon, I think. Yeah. I'd like to get him on this summer sometime.
Pooh Paul's another one that that was a little weird one because he did the entire thing in his car with his sunglasses
no lights
on.
Hardly. Yeah. Hardly any lights, but he was still fun to.
Yeah, he was
still a good interview.
Because we're always like, because, you know, we Kozel, when we had him on, like he started off, you know, he's shirtless in his car.
Yeah.
And they just got back and goes, I just had, he showed us two empty seats. Like the Lloyd brothers were just sitting right there.
Well, they were getting their stuff out of the back of the truck. We could see them getting their fishing poles out of the back.
I didn't see that, but
yeah. So anyway, man, it was that's been really cool just to kind of get to talk to some of them. And then, you know, Dave Zorn, the baseball coach, you know, that was a fun interview too. And
that was because some of my favorites when Gabe will text me after, you know, some of the times I've roasted you.
Yeah.
Because like, what are the things we ask Jordan? He scouts for the majors now.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell them what kind of build they have with them, an athletic build. And I said, would you describe Travis's build as athletic? and he was like, well, there's something on the screen. I swear to you, I think what it was, there's a notification come up. This is being recorded. Yeah. It was just on the center of the screen. He didn't know how to get it off. And so I think he just set the entire podcast.
Yeah.
The thing in the middle of the screen, just looking at that.
Yeah.
And he tried to give like, now there's a thing in the middle of the screen I can't see. Yeah. He goes, more of a football player. I go, I'm more of a sumo wrestler. But I'm looking a little bit less like a sumo wrestler.
Yeah, well, one of the things that started when we started this podcast, Clint, about that time, and some of it with the encouragement from we had a little bet that you were going to get something
get a tattoo.
Get a tattoo. That didn't work out, but I started sort of a weight loss journey. Okay, and it's been a journey. But I haven't talked about this a whole lot. I've mentioned some that I've lost weight. We've talked about it a little bit, but I haven't really told numbers that much.
Yeah.
It's not something I've talked about a lot, except maybe with my doctors and stuff a little bit. But in that time, and about the time we've done 200 episodes, okay, well, I'll put it this way, Clint. At my worst, okay, and I do mean worst, I was over 600 pounds. Okay, I got probably around 620. Okay, I'm proud to say now, I was hoping by this episode that the first number would start with a 3.
Right.
But I'm at 405 right now.
No, that is unbelievable. 225 pounds. You lost it. Well, no, that's what the 215.
215. Yeah.
So that's the
I was hoping to be 220, like I said, by this episode, but didn't work out that way. But I'm still losing. I've done that through
No, unbelievable.
through I'm haven't because of some pain in my legs and stuff like that. I haven't been able to do a ton of exercise, although I've started doing some working out and things like that a little bit. But a lot of it's been done through intermittent fasting, through just making better choices. Man, I just tried to make good choices. Not eating stuff I shouldn't eat. I've cut out almost all sweets. Eat a lot of high protein stuff. And I have over the last since the school year started, I've been taking trizepatide, the shots, but I'm probably going to quit taking those pretty soon because I feel like I really needed those to help me get. I was at a plateau at that time. I've lost about since school year started. I've lost about 50 or 60 pounds with the shots. So of the 215 pounds, 50 or 60 of it's from those shots, but did help me get past the plateau because there for about a month or so I was kind of plateaued for a while. That helped me get past that, but
Yeah.
that's my first time really talking about that, folks.
No, and anytime
that,
anytime you're on a weight loss journey or anything like that, you hit that plateau, and it's so frustrating.
yeah,
Everyone hits it, and I'm so proud of you because I know it's been it's been a struggle for you, a lifelong struggle. I mean, you've always been bigger guys, and
yeah,
I got lucky. I found jiu-jitsu something to at least keep me active, and
yeah,
every time that you find yourself in a situation where I went through a board or something like that, and I have to get back on it,
yeah.
it's hard, and to come from where you are to where you were to where you are, I can't tell you how proud I am of you.
Well,
Congratulations! I know we're gonna keep up with it. We're gonna keep up with it. So
yeah.
I'm happy that I don't have this ass covered by hometown roofing on tattooed on my butt. But
Man, if we would if it would have been like a year later, because the year later I lost over 100 in that year,
yeah,
so I would have you would have been getting that for sure.
nope.
But hey, and I got to keep going on it because here's the deal: I've lost 215 pounds, but still fat.
Yeah.
So yeah, gotta keep busting it, keep going, and so that's the big thing there. So, but it's been different, but it's been, and look, if anybody's out there and you're trying to do it, look, I'm no person to give advice necessarily, but what worked for me was figuring out what works for me. Everybody's
Yeah.
different. Everybody's different. And I've tried every diet in the past. I've tried extreme stuff. I've tried, even during this, I did, another thing I did to break a plateau was I did the carnivore diet for a little while. And, I've done a lot of different things, but
And I don't know if y'all noticed around episode 120, we don't talk about it. Travis got on crack.
yes, yeah, right. Yeah,
From 120 to 128, it was weird. We weren't getting along very well.
did you ever see that Saturday Night Live skit with Jim Carrey and he's he's like doing an infomercial for weight loss.
I remember
He goes,
that. Yeah.
"You wear my beaded heat suit," which is just like those beaded like seat covers for cars. It's like showing up. He goes, "You wear my beaded heat suit and take massive doses of crystal meth, and you too can lose 100 pounds in just 2 weeks." And then Will Ferrell stands up. He says, "I tried your heated beat suit, and I took all that meth, and now I've realized I'm the devil."
I remember that. Yeah.
You go back on YouTube, man. Look it up. Is it Ride the Snake? Ride the Snake.
So I know you have. Well, you didn't ask, but recently I've started watching a lot of SNL again. Around the 50th episode, I started back in it, and I discovered these guys. I'd never seen them before, and you're probably going to say, "Where have you been, under a rock?" Please don't destroy. And I've been on a deep dive of their stuff.
Yeah.
And they even made a whole movie.
Yeah.
But it's mostly like 3 minutes. My favorite one is one of them and Dakota Johnson. And they're just roasting. They're just roasting each other.
Yeah.
She calls them the lonelier island.
Yeah.
Because it's 3. No, you got to do it, Travis. You got to go do a deep dive on Please Don't Destroy.
I've been
It's
impressed with Saturday Night Live lately.
it's Martin Herlihy, whose dad is the Herlihy, the writing partner of Sandler.
Yeah.
The other one, his dad's the announcer for Jimmy Fallon's The Tonight Show.
Oh, okay.
And the other one's just a dude. He's the non-nepo baby. So
Yeah.
the other two are nepo babies. But yeah, good stuff,
Nice.
dude. You got to check them out.
Sweet. Well, all right. Enough of that talk. Let's talk about some hog stuff. Well, this last weekend, Clint, softball team and the baseball team were both played Ole Miss.
I had my Friday run by the state of Mississippi.
Man, I mean, look, we love to hate Ole Miss, but don't we love to hate them even worse when they do something like this to us?
Yeah.
The softball team, the poor girls, the two best pitchers get food poisoning, and then so they can't go into one game and lose it. Then the next game, come back and win that one, and then they can't get the other one. Bree Ellis just not getting pitched to. I think she got one hit. She was they just wasn't giving her a chance.
Yeah,
just walking her all the time. Scared of her bat, of course. Then the baseball team go down to Hoover, which is not real surprising because, Van Horn's really not a big SEC. He doesn't really care much about the SEC tournament, and which it stunk to lose that game, especially to lose it the way we lost it, because Root pitched pretty good. It was errors, and it was errors by one of the best defending shortstops in the country, if not the best. Yeah, and Wahiva Lloyd just messed up a couple times, and we couldn't get a double play turned, and just hurt us. And so we go in now. We get the number 3 seed.
Number 3 overall seed, yes, sir.
To host a regional, and so Arkansas is going to be hosting starting this week. And here's the layout for the regional. We got Kansas is the number 2 seed, who with a 40. Arkansas has a 43-13 record. Kansas has a 43-15 record. Okay, they're number 2 seed. Creighton has a 41-14 record. And then North Dakota State with a 20-31 record. Now, Clint, when it comes to the North Dakota State, who Arkansas is going to play first, that's pretty much an easy draw there.
It should be, yeah.
Them and possibly our buddies at Little Rock are two of the worst teams in the field. Which, by the way, Little Rock,
good job winning the Ohio Valley Conference tournament.
Congratulations, man. Chris Curry said on the radio, they've been talking about this all day on the Buzz. He'd been done some interviews on the radio, and he said, look, my team has got some injuries, but when it comes to tournament time, look out, we could do well. Well, they lose, is it 14 of the last 15 games or 13 of the last 14 games, something like that. Terrible end of the season, but once again, injuries. They go to the tournament. They win 5 games in 4 days, Clint. 5 games in 4 days. And they get rewarded with a trip to Baton Rouge to play the Dirty Tigers.
No, and I think everybody, Dave Van Horn said, the draw was what they thought they were going to get. I know that's a sexy record by Creighton, but they're also in the Missouri Valley Conference. Now, you say that Missouri State won at Arkansas. A Wednesday game, but still they won a midweek game at Arkansas. So you got to figure.
There's a lot of fans, Clint, that are you hear on the radio talk and things like that are really kind of upset about this draw because Kansas and Creighton are two solid teams. Kansas has a couple former Razorbacks on their team that transferred out. One of them's getting a lot of playing time. I don't think the other one is. But Kansas and Creighton are solid. I was talking to our buddy Mike Floyd today, He hangs out with Michael Turner quite a bit. Michael Turner's at Birmingham, and Turner told him, he said, "Don't be surprised if Creighton wins that regional." He said he thinks they're that good that they could end up winning the regional. If Arkansas doesn't. But now, here's the big question, Clint. You ready for this? We only pitched Root, well, and a couple other pitchers, right? But Root's our starter that pitched in the SEC tournament.
Root's going to pitch game 2. He's not pitching game 1.
Exactly. So who do you pitch game 1?
Gage Wood.
Okay. Now, here's the question, though. Or, instead of Gage Wood, do you start Battle Cheese or Jimenez, one of those two, because you're going against a team that's 20-31 in North Dakota State.
Yeah.
So you would think your Sunday starter, whoever that is right now, okay, which Battle Cheese and Jimenez are the two main guys, right? Let one of them start that game, and then you have, I would go Gage Wood in the second game because he's more rested, and then Root in the third game.
I mean, it's not the worst idea you've ever had by any stretch. I mean, you still got Gackle you could start. I'm a big fan of Jimenez. I think he's, of course, he's coming back from Tommy John surgery, so he's looking good. So, yeah, I'll be curious to how Dave Van Horn does it. I mean, obviously, we got a situation a few years ago against New Jersey Technical College or whatever. Whoever they were. But we end up having to call the cops.
That's right.
They shut them down, and so hopefully we don't get to that. Not that we have, we can't call the cops right now.
Well, the thing, the way of thinking on that is there's a couple of things that would go against my idea there. Okay, one of the things is you want to throw out one of your best in that first game because you got to focus on winning the games at hand, and not think you can walk through. Okay, but you got to think, if you're an SEC team, you're playing North Dakota State, you got to think your third starter should be able to take care of them. Okay. Win that game, with you may have to, they may score a little bit on you because you're not throwing your best pitcher. But here's the other thing you got to think about. Does that mess you up for the super regional rotation?
No, because them guys will be coming off proper rest. Did you see who we're lined up against if it goes chalk?
Yep, that's the other thing. But that some people are complaining about.
I think it's fair. I really do. I think.
Well, what are you gonna do? And by the way, it's Tennessee. It's the winner of the Tennessee regional, and in that regional, you got Tennessee, Wake Forest, Cincinnati, and Miami of Ohio. Which you got to think it's either going to be Tennessee or Wake Forest come out of there, more than likely. Which obviously it's probably going to be Tennessee, you'd think.
The defending national champions.
But they're not as good as they were last year.
No, they're not.
Now, however, you got but here's the deal, Clint. There's 13 SEC teams in the field. 4 of which, if it goes chalk, there's going to be a matchup of 4 SEC teams in the second round, in the super regionals. So we're not the only one that'll have to play an SEC team if it goes chalk. Okay, so like you said, it's fair. It's it's just the way it is, and that's all right. This team needs we need the Loy brothers to get their bats back going. We need what's our third baseman's name? The Australian?
Iredale.
Iredale. We need him to get his bat going again. We need our boy Kozel to get rolling. We need the bats to roll. We need to stop leaving people on base. We wasn't doing that earlier in the season, but we've kind of hitting has not been exactly what it was. You got guys like Maxwell and some others that are hitting better right now. Heflick, the catcher, is hit pretty well. But you need those other guys that you count on. You need those guys to really step up in this regional. And you need our pitching to be consistent. We need guys to go out there and throw some good innings. And that's what we got to hope for. This team is it's got the talent. I mean, I don't think anybody would be surprised if they make it to Omaha and do well in Omaha.
And I don't think anybody would be surprised if something happens, we fizzle out in this tournament.
Exactly.
It just, I mean,
Sad
with Arkansas athletics, we have learned to prepare for the worst, expect the best, hope for the best, expect the worst. I've been hurt too many times. I've seen the national title winning pop fly drop between three Razorback fielders on my birthday. So,
happy birthday.
Yep. And the worst part was when I had a friend troll me. There's a Florida fan that said, Clint, I hope your birthday ended exactly how you wanted it.
Yikes.
But you know what? It was not all doom and it's not all doom and gloom. We did get a bit of good news, and not that it's doom and gloom. You're hosting a super regional, number 3 overall seed. Got some good news. I mean, super regional host, all that if it goes as planned. But some good basketball news, Travis.
Man, some big basketball news.
Big.
Karter Knox.
I'd heard Knox was doing good at the combine.
Yep. And one of the things he did well at the combine, Clint, was shooting the ball. He had great percentages shooting, from what I understand, at the combine. And that was the thing that, toward the end of the season, he was a much better shooter. He became a big-time weapon in his outside shot toward the end of the season. So it's not necessarily a shocker. And it wasn't necessarily a weakness of his, but that was something the NBA scouts was looking to see. Can this guy do that? I think it's big getting him back, Clint.
No, I think it's huge. I think if you look at who I think is going to be able to take the biggest step next year, it was him. Yeah. And he really started playing more like a second-year player towards the end of the season. And you saw a difference. Him and Billy Richmond both had made a big, big jump. Karter Knox, I believe, was a 5-star, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah, he was a McDonald's All-American, I think. Yeah.
The entire 9. So I think having him back is huge. There was a report where someone that says him and Thero both might come back. I haven't heard anything so definite about Thero.
Yeah.
From what I heard, there's not a lot of advantage to him coming back.
Him coming back would be awesome. I mean, it would be amazing. It would be just wonderful if he did. But it's a little more doubtful. I think he's got a little more chance to get drafted. But I'll tell you, Knox, I think, feels some of the same things that Thero would. He's not quite as tall as Thero, but, he's a versatile guy. I mean, Knox can guard a power forward if you need him to.
Yeah.
Because he's a big, strong guy. He's that big athletic guy. He can, like we've had, Bart Reed talk about Billy Richmond and how versatile he is on defense. Karter Knox is the same way. He's a guy that can play shooting guard all the way down to, be, your 4 guy. If you're running a small, if you're running a bunch of guards out there and you're trying to go small, you put a center in there with him at the 4, and he can go out there and body up some guys. I mean, he's 6'6", 6'5" or 6'6", got, he's thick. So he, got some muscle on him, so he can, and he's going to get even stronger this year. So I'm excited about him coming back. I think that makes the team even better.
No, this team they should be in the conversation when you talk about a short list of teams that could win a national title.
And if Thero was to decide to come back, I think they're one of the favorites.
I would. I think they're still in the conversation with or without him.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Now, your defending national champs, Florida Gators, did get a good get. They got my boy Boogie.
Yep.
Which I wonder how much. I think there's probably some truth to the rumors with Bo Manley, like he was going to get close to $7 million. I'm not sure brother got a full $7 million.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he got well taken care of to come back and play his sophomore season.
Yeah.
But it was going to be hard to find him minutes on this Razorback roster. And when you talk about a player like Boogie Fland, going to be a hard time finding him some minutes.
Yeah, that
Um,
that backcourt got pretty packed while he was
yeah,
going checking out the NBA. And that's where a guy like Carter Knox coming back because he can be that versatile guy. Okay. Boogie Flan, he already saw that his minutes were going to be less because of the way the team ran with Wagner running the point. So you got him, and then you got the freshman coming in, a couple of stud guards coming in. Boogie Flan was not going to be the key guy on this team. He just wasn't. I mean, as good as he is,
and
and
he's great.
he's a good ball player, man. But it wasn't going to be, he wasn't going to be the main guy. And so I think, and I don't know if he's going to be at Florida necessarily,
Well,
but
I
to
think if
be,
Boogie hadn't got hurt, I don't think we're talking about him maybe falling in the second round.
no, you're right.
I'm thinking he's probably a first rounder. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, kind of like, Nick Smith was like the number anywhere from the first to the third pick, and then he got hurt in college, and
Yeah.
he fell way down and barely got drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's exciting times for basketball.
Yeah,
Man.
it is exciting times, and like I said, I've been enjoying the crap out of watching some NBA.
Well, and how does life get better for Cal right now? Like last night, he was at the game, at the NBA game, watching some of a couple of his former players and watching a couple of former Razorbacks play. And then he tweets out that you just got a call from Carter Knox with some good news. Cal's living large, dude.
He is, and it is one of them deals when they were 0-5, people were giving their pop shots in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he ain't gonna stay down. You just you feel like he's gonna stay down, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And he got back up, and this team is looking salty.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about basketball. I definitely come October, November, they're the dogs day of the football season. We may be like, come on, save us, Coach Cal.
That's right. Yeah.
Save us, Coach Cal.
That's right. Well, and like you said, the NBA's been fun to watch. We talked about it a little bit. We'll talk about it some more here. I still think it's going to end up being Indiana and Oklahoma City.
No, I mean, Oklahoma City took a commanding 3-1 lead.
After getting blown out in the game before, man, that was nuts.
Yeah,
they just got destroyed and then came back.
You need to watch you some SGA. I mean, watch some SGA. The guy can ball. And it also, they're calling the New York Knicks the Villanova Knicks.
Yeah.
Because they got 3 guys logging significant minutes that went to Villanova.
Yeah.
And their 4 teammates playing for Minnesota. That run, that team that made such a run for Jay Wright, Jalen Brunson and Hart, and I'll butcher the right guy's name, but
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, and it's been fun to watch, and like I said, I think like I said last week, I think the main reason I'm thinking Indiana and Oklahoma City is going to end up winning it is just their depth. They're deep, and both they just have more depth than what New York and Minnesota has. And
New York only will go about 6-7 deep.
Yeah,
and then
Oklahoma City beat the Nuggets, and that was how they beat them. They just had more. Jokic is a stud player, but they just didn't have the depth to hang with them, and so. Anyway, it's fun to watch. I know a lot of y'all aren't NBA fans, but listen, turn the games on. They're worth watching if you like basketball because it's
there's some good basketball being played. It's played different, but
it's a different breed of basketball. It for sure is. It's not the old school. It's not the old school stuff, but it's fun to watch. It's good. It's good ball and some talent out there for sure. And you gotta was it SGA and that's his name.
Yeah, Shea Gilchrist-Alexander.
Yeah, he wins the MVP and then buys all his teammates a Rolex. Lets them pick out the Rolex, and that's cool stuff, man.
Yeah,
took care of his.
And my man got him a brand new Kia too.
That's right. Yeah. He's gonna donate that to
Do
somebody.
you think any of the members of the Oklahoma Thunder would be caught dead driving a Kia Sorrento
Hey, you never know, man.
to the? Yeah, maybe.
You never know. Never know.
That's one thing. Living near a major city now. One thing me and my wife were doing, we went to watch, that movie the other day in Houston. I'm driving past. I don't know what the ball field it was called. Enron Park. Then it was Minute Maid Park. It's like Dacon Park or some crap like that. Now I don't know who it's named after, but they got all them apartment buildings downtown. I'm like, I wonder how much those are. I'm like, just looking up how like outrageous they are. Like $10,000 a month for a studio apartment right next to the ball field.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I guarantee you, these guys that just get traded to the team just get them one of them.
Yeah,
just like here.
You're probably right. So. Well, Clint, it's the 200th episode.
200 in the can,
and we gotta ask. We gotta do it. What you watching?
Dude, I've been watching a lot of. I watched that Pompeii lady, the one that apparently got abducted by. She said she got abducted by the two Latino women, and they had branded her and all that. And
oh yeah,
and then it turned out she made it up, and now she's saying I would literally got done.
True crime documentary deal, yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of that because I'm at the end of the day, I am a basic white person.
Yeah.
And that's what basic white people watch.
Yeah.
Been watching a lot of the NBA still. Watch a lot of basketball. I've been in the, like I said earlier, I've been on the Please Don't Destroy deep dive. It's one of them. Like I started watching it, and they have one where like Bad Bunny is dressed as Shrek, and he's wrote an entire Shrek movie.
Yeah.
And have them all playing parts. That's write that down, Travis. Please Don't Destroy SNL. They've been doing so many digital shorts through the years. It seems silly. I just now discovered them.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been living under a rock because they're doing some good stuff. And if you didn't watch the Walton Goggins episode of Saturday Night Live, you missed out. Go back, and SNL's doing some great stuff right now.
Well, I've been watching a lot of cooking shows. Have you watched 24 and 24 on
I have not.
It's 24 chefs, and they cook for 24 hours straight, and they're doing like contests the whole time, but they're awake working for 24 hours, and like they bring in different judges during that 24 hours, and they do like different contests. Sometimes they'll work in groups, sometimes they'll work in other things, sometimes all kinds of stuff. Anyway, it's a really cool show. And then I'm watching Barbecue Brawl also with Bobby Flay and
I watched the first couple episodes of those.
Some of that. It's a pretty good show, but it's interesting. Of course, a lot of those, once you've seen some stuff, you don't really see anything new on it, but still fun to watch.
No, Travis, I'm going to tell you something. I'm so proud of you. You've lost all this weight. I'm excited about you coming down. Us going to the Texas-Arkansas game together, going to the Comedy Mothership and all that. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Right now, and I love you. You're my best friend in the world. I'm still not waiting in the line at Ferguson's barbecue. It's just, I'm not going to do it. Don't ask me to do it because it's not happening.
That's all right.
We can go down to Terry Black's, but wait in that line. I'm fine, but that.
Yeah.
Because you know me, when I see a line like that, it could say free. I'm not standing in it.
Yeah. That's all right. As long as we get some good brisket.
Oh, man. Yeah, I got you. I got you, fam. I got you. So.
Well, folks, look, here's the deal. 200 episodes. We would not have kept this going if it hadn't been for some of y'all. We always say like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. But one of the best things we get is when we get text messages from y'all. When we get messages from y'all saying you enjoyed the episode or talking about or making fun of us for something dumb we said. That lets us know you're listening, you're watching, and we appreciate that, and look, we're not, we don't got a ton of listeners and followers or whatever, but we're proud of every last one of them. And thank y'all so much, because you're what makes this. I mean, look, me and Clint love doing this. We love hanging out. We love talking this stuff. But we could do this over the phone or FaceTime or whatever else. A lot of this is conversations we'd probably would have had with each other anyway. But knowing that some of y'all care to listen to it, some of y'all are our friends that care, some of you picked it up in other places or whatever, let us know. Tell us what you think. Comment about 200. Okay.
Yeah. And give my boy a shout out for that 215-pound weight loss. I mean, that is
5 more, baby. By next week, I want to be 5 more down.
Yeah. We're going to see. We'll let you know when he's under 4 honey, when he's in the 3 honeys.
Hey, 10 pant sizes. 10. And even that is big on me. I got to get some more. So probably even more than that now. But it's nice when you can get out your clothes that you packed up and put in storage from like 10 years ago. And some of those still fit.
You can't really send those to a third world country. I mean,
no, because no one's fat enough to wear them there.
You could probably house a small family in them.
Yeah,
one of your old shirts. Give them one of the hoodies.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Get warm in there. Send that to some Eskimos.
That's right.
But congratulations, my friend. Let's try to make 200 more.
Word up.
And by the way, Travis, hit them with a new logo.
That's right. We do have a new logo we're going to be putting out on this episode. So get ready for that. And look, folks, thank y'all so much. Have a great week. Go Hogs. Bicentennial, baby. Woo pig.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy